Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everybody, my name is Tino Calvin and this is my friend Febri and this is my friend Agung, and today we will help you guys learn how to make a simple GUI using Java.
The first thing you need to do is prepare JDK, Java JDK, and Visual Studio Code. If you have prepared all the things mentioned, you can open the Visual Studio Code. In VS Code, you need install two extensions. Extensions are debugger for Java and extension pack for Java. Now we can create a project by making a directory or folder with name simple GUI. In the folder, we need to make a Java file with the name Java GUI. Inside the Java file, we need to create a public class with the same name as the file.
Ini kalau baru gua kasih batas nih, gua bilangnya Pak saya ini.
Recording juga lo udah lagi.
Nggak apa-apa, Fer, nggak apa-apa udah lagi.
After we make the rest, we need to import some object that of course are in the Java Swing library, which will be our Java GUI library program. Okay, so what the object we need to import? First, we need to import Java Swing JFrame, Java Swing JLabel, Java Swing JButton, JTextFields, and a few object events from Java AWT. After we import all the objects we need to make the methods for our Java program. The first method that we will make is public static void initiation. And then public static void main strings arguments, and this is all the method we need to make for our Java GUI program. After we make the methods, we need to make some few attributes that we will need to actually make our GUI program. The first attribute that we will make is static JFrames, which we call window, and then we're going to make another one called JTextField that we will call input, and then we're going to make another one called JLabel, which we call output, and then the final one we will make an object JButton called submit. These are the object we need, the attributes we need to actually make the Java GUI program. Now, after we have set our attributes, we can actually focus on making the initiation method. The first thing we need to do in the initiation method, we need to set the windows that we will use for our GUI program. First, of course, we need to make the JFrame method called window equals new JFrames, and then we need to set the size for our window with set size method, and inside this we need to pass in the size of our window. First, of course, going to be the width, and after that, we're going to be the height. So the width is 400 pixels, and the height will be 400 pixels as well. After we set the size, we need to set the windows to make sure that it will not going to resize when we actually want it to resize. So just like this, we need to make set resizable boolean to false. After we set the resizable to false, we need to set the close operation for our window so that the program is stopped when we actually close the program. So what we're going to do is to write window dot set default close operation, and inside this we need to pass in the attribute which is exit on close. After that, we want to actually set the layout, in this case, to no, like that. And after we set the windows, we need to set the components that we want to set in our Java GUI program. The first component that we need to set is output, in this case, and output we're going to set new JLabel, and inside this argument we need to pass in our text that we want to show on the Windows program, which is in this case we want to set it to hello there. And after that, we need to set the position of our components on our window, and in this case we need to use the method set bounds, like this. And in set bounds we need to pass some data inside it, and it will be integer. And inside this we need to pass in the x coordinate, which is 40, and then after that we are going to pass in the y coordinate, which is 150 pixels. And then after that we're going to set the width of our JLabel, which is 300, and after that the height will be 25 pixel. And after we set the JLabel components, we need to set another component called JTextField, which we actually called input. And after that we need to make the JTextField object. And after that, just like the output object, we need to set the position. And the position is set bounds. It's going to be 40, 150, and then 30, 100, and then 25. Okay, so that's the text field, the components, the input component for our windows. And after that, we need to set the buttons for our window program. And then what we're going to do is to actually write submit, which is our attributes, which be our attributes that we make. And inside this we're going to use new J button, like that. And inside this J button we need to clarify the text, and in this case we're going to clarify to submit. And after that we need to actually, just like everything, we need to set the position of our component, which is submit set bounds, like that. And then it's going to be 40, 100, 150, 300, and 25. And then after we set every components that we want, we need to add it to our window, which is going to be like this: window dot get content pane dot add, and this is going to be our component. And then after that, we're going to add the output object inside. And then we're going to add the input object. Oops, sorry. The input object, and then we're going to add the submit object. Oh, sorry, there's an error here. Just like that. This is all the thing we need to do to actually make the GUI program. And after we set the windows and the components for our program, we need to set the event that we can use to interact with the GUI program. So what we're going to do is to use the submit object, and then in here we're going to add action listener, and inside this action listener we're going to press enter. We're going to make an anonymous class, or in this case object, called new action listener. And after that, inside is going to be the method that we need to actually run the event for our Java GUI. So what we're going to do is to make the method inside. What we're going to do is write override, and in here we're going to be the method action perform, like that. And inside this we're going to use action event e, and inside this method it's going to be our events that will have that will of course change our GUI program. So in this case we want to actually change the input using our output. So in this case we need to use output dot output dot set text, and inside this it's going to be the input value. So in this case going to be input dot get text, just like this, as you can see. And after that, after we actually make the event inside our submit component, we can actually now show the window just like this. Window dot set visible to true. And now our program is pretty much finished. Now we're going to do is to actually add the we need to call the method inside our main method. In this case we want to call the initiation method, and inside this we can actually run the file. Oops, there's actually a minor inconvenience. We need to actually, oh yes, we need to move this 100 to 100, and then we want to move this to 125. The text fields 125, and then after that we can actually run this file. There you go.
And the result will be like this. In here we need to paste in our input. My name is Brian. And the result will be like this. Nah,